What do you want to tell me, friend?
Victor, hurry, we'll be late for mass.
I'm coming.
Victor, do you think that when you have a husband, you have to argue with him?
I suppose so. I don't want a husband.
You don't have to get one, but I'm worse off. Grażynka says that when I grow up, she'll find me a husband.
Victor, hurry, we'll be late for mass.
I'm coming, Mother.
Victor, do you think that when you have a husband, you have to argue with him?
I suppose so. I don't want a husband.
You don't have to get one, but I'm worse off. Grażynka says that when...
I remember that. The last Sunday before Father stopped taking us to church. Because of me. I accidentally touched the priest's stone as he passed us with the censer. That was the first time when I felt another person's thoughts, their intentions. I heard the words of someone's confession that the priest was thinking about. It was like they were directed at me. And I didn't falter to share them with the rest of the congregation. Mother didn't manage to stop me, and my indiscretion caused a prominent marriage to fall apart. My parents' marriage not long after.
Teodosia Majewska's bathhouse. Wiktoriusz speaking.
Russki, this is Pilavin.
I was waiting for your call, Commissioner. Go on.
They released Kajetan in the morning. I thought you'd want to know. I cleared him of all the charges, but he doesn't...
Thank you, Commissioner. I'll take care of his mood. Goodbye.
Let's hope not.
Mr. Shulsky, come in. What's new?
I've got some fresh ideas for...
Promising. But you can't keep wearing the same attire. Please, come back. Meanwhile, I shall...
I won't bother you.
All right.
Am I a magician or what? Let's wait. So, let's... Aren't your legs good? So... 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 Well, there we have it. Aren't you let... So... That wasn't too hard. So... So... Aren't... So...
Fate has brought us together again, Victor Shulsky.
Why do you bother, King of the Tempermancers?
I learned from my mistakes, and now the time has come for me to reclaim the... Come on, I dare you!
All right.
To me, visitor. Never! There is no shame in losing. The way tells me to find you again.
You don't have any powers. What way? What are you talking about? Your salutors are two drunkards with a screw loose. Stop calling yourself a Thaumaturge.
But the title... I...
Am I a magician or what? Good day, Mrs.
Have you worked up an appetite for a...
I'd like to collect Ligia Shurska.
Of course. Give her my best. And don't hesitate. I take the donuts and the...
Let's... Sir...
Mr. Shulsky, I presume.
What gave me away?
Your resemblance to Ligia. And the book at your waist. That's... Let me take your coat. The lecture has already started.
Inequality between the sexes is a real problem that keeps society and economics stack. No wonder if half of population cannot take up a job or are not adequately. We want to study, work, make our own
Ligia, I'd love to see you on the faculty. You must agree.
There you are. Samuel, Cecilia, I'd like you to meet my brother.
Mr. Shulsky? Victor Shulsky?
Yes, madam. It is I.
Oh, I need to talk to you about Thaumaturge. Ligia has told me a lot about you. I've been interested in it ever since I was a child, although...
Sadly, it's not a word.
Mr. Shulsky, welcome to the Flying Unit.
The university is an interesting venture. Where did you get the idea?
Out of necessity. The occupiers control all the academies. They don't allow women to study, and the future Poland will need an...
Where does the university's name come from?
For obvious reasons, we don't have a permanent residence. Our academy is constantly flying between the apartments of people willing to host us.
Some also mockingly say we are a childlike and girlish university, as the university was created with women.
But the mockery will soon end, because our graduates have already started scientific careers abroad.
Are there any known names among the
Mrs. Skłodowska-Kir...
Our Nobel Prize win... Aren't you afraid of the police?
I am aware that we leave ourselves open to a charge of distributing...
Great causes are worth taking the risk.
I think we need to carefully consider potential losses and gains, and stay cautious.
I will quote that next time you get into trouble.
Have you got any more questions?
Let's talk...
Of course.
I'm afraid to ask what my sister had...
Nothing but the truth, albeit not all. We are a civilized people, after all.
I'm interested in stories about Thaumaturge.
Do you teach Thaumaturge here?
I've heard that it's becoming popular.
In our academic circles, hardly anyone should.
We've already talked about it. With such a limited amount of sources, there's not much we can do.
That's why we should use the knowledge of someone who traveled half the world to learn.
I'm afraid...
Please,
I used to live with the whirling dervishes in Damascus for some time. I've also met an Inuit sage who claimed he could talk to them.
How?
Cecilia, let's give Mr. Schultz...
Let's talk about something.
Of course.
Congratulations, Professor.
I did? And what did...
I only got there at the end, but what I heard sounded competent. You know that science is your domain, not mine. Still, it doesn't change the... I'll take a look around the room.
Mr. Shulsky, we must talk. It's important.
Oh. I think you'll find that the catering tables aren't the only...
Give me a break.
Only if you brought some donuts.
I did. I know one should not stand between you and sugar.
You're speaking words of wisdom, brother.
Then I will leave you as well. Mr. Schulsky?
I also write term papers for the principal school students. Would you like some work? Excuse me, and you are...
Viktor Schulsky.
You are Lygia's brother? It's great that you came to your... Not all of us have that kind of support.
What do you mean?
My brother. He thinks an educated woman is a disgrace to her family. If he knew I studied, he'd beat me.
We all take some risk. Well, maybe...
What do you mean?
She's Russian, and I'm sure she'll bring the police down on us. I don't know why Dickstein...
Don't waste your breath. Better have an eclair.
You wanted to talk to me?
I've got a whole bunch of questions, and I really hope you can...
Check your enthusiasm, please. You and your dress take all of our...
Lucrezia, only feeble men are afraid to be inquisitive. And the power you possess meddles with the very fabric of reality and the most subtle
Overrated at the best, and made...
Maybe I could change your mind about my power if I used it.
Yes!
For example, I could convince you that you are a parrot.
Oh my god.
The bookseller went mad. Help!
Is that your doing?
Now you believe in Thaumaturge?
Mr. Shulsky, please don't mind her. Let's go, they might need you.
This is tragic! I need to hear about it! Thieves! This is an outrage! Do not tell me what to do. It is definitely the time to be nervous.
I'm just saying we can look together. It might be a misunderstanding.
Misunderstanding? You! I bet you did!
What happened?
The first edition of A Nation Tale is gone. My beloved game exposed to sunshine.
Oh, what a horrible tragedy.
You can't treat me like that. Nobody leaves this place. Either I get...
What do you mean? I can't stay here any longer.
Antoni, do not...
They are not students.
Mr. Shulsky can find your book.
How can you be so sure, Miss Cecilia?
You are a Thaumaturge. You can identify the culprit from the trait.
That's not exactly how it works, but still, your knowledge is impressive. Yes, I can do that.
Really? And then can you bring...
No, but I can find what you've lost, and I guess that's what you want.
Let's call it the minimum plan.
That's enough, Antoni. Mr. Shulsky, we'd all be obliged.
You don't understand. I want...
And I want my volume to be in my display case. Maybe you're...
I'm not a thief, and I don't have to explain myself.
There's no need to argue. Please, let me...
You can help by searching this young lady.
I know subtler ways. Could you give me a personal... No, she's not the one who stole the book.
How do you know?
You must trust my expertise.
I see. I can't open the door, but I can help you with your parents. I know what is...
I see.
Mr. Shulsky, there are guest coats in the wardrobe. I will let you in there.
That might be helpful.
Then... And? Have you...
Maybe, although I still need some...
Well... What are you waiting...
The launch coat belongs to Miss Lucrezia, I presume. The one with the satin lining?
Yeah. No, but I don't know why you're wasting your time on this.
I found a men's coat in the wardrobe. One with embroidered initials and wooden buttons. Do you...
With a worn-out collar and elbow patches? That's Valdemar's coat.
You have good memory.
Which you are using in a ridiculous way.
Thank you. That was very helpful.
I will wait for the results, then.
A grey coat with embroidered initials and wooden buttons. It belongs to you, doesn't it?
Why do you ask?
I think it belongs to the thief.
What? No, I don't...
It's September.
I like the call. And that is not a crime. Leave me...
Here, I found your book. And what's this? I should return the volume. The bookseller will finally calm down. And then I will have a talk with the author of this letter.
Can I help you?
Do you have any suspicions regarding the stolen...
I don't believe any of the students could do it. It must be. I hope you managed to...
Tell me about Lygia's stuff.
Your sister has an extraordinary mind. She's one of our most gifted graduates, and I hope her arguments are bold and accurate, untainted by social...
Indeed, you are... Thank you.
Can I help?
Here is your volume.
You came back to me, safe and...
I hope it was all just...
No, it was
That was obvious. How did you find...
The plot might not be too original, but it was...
You might be missing the big picture.
The one responsible for stealing the book is Valdemar. He used his father's lock...
Valdemar?
What
The boy stole the book at Cecilia's request.
It's impossible. Valdemar?
It's true, Mr. President. Cecilia said it would be a joke.
Do you understand what kind of situation this puts me in? How this affects our reputation?
I'm sorry, but it was necessary. I had my...
What reasons?
Nobody treats Thaumaturge like a real science. I had to show what you're capable...
That's enough! That is no excuse. I will talk to you in a minute.
You know I was right.
I'm sorry you were used like that.
Thank you. Honestly, I don't like being...
I understand. Cecilia's methods are disgraceful, but she does have a point. A lecture by a Thaumaturge would enrich our academy. Please, consider it.
I will think about it. I have to find their meeting place. Good evening.
I thought there'd be something to look at. Much ado about nothing.
Who are you? Last time, a different housekeeper came to greet me.
How about that? What, don't you like us?
I do. It's a big change. A positive one.
There, see? He's Natsu. This is Maria.
And this is Magdalena. We've all been waiting for you.
Maria and Magdalena. Very interesting. Do you work for the Untitled?
Grigori invited us here.
He's waiting for you.
Look at you two, joined at the hip. Are you ever apart?
Rarely. We complete one another.
Stop it. I'm sure he's not here to...
Then what do you want?
I've come to see you.
We know.
It looks familiar, and yet different. Well.
At last, the wait is over. Here he is. Sit down, Victor.
What's going on? What sort of little shindig is this?
It's an expression of gratitude.
I didn't expect crowds. I was hoping we...
Patience. Have a seat as I... Support the weak. Be patient towards all men. The moment has finally come. Here too, it's thanks to him that we are where we are. And we will be in the future. My mind has long been flooded with bloody visions. In their scarlet color, the mists of the... I see a great star falling to the blood-stained earth, including the Orthodox Church of Saint Mary Magdalene. The earth swallows up the Iberian Gate. Kazan Cathedral stands underwater, and our homeland will then be exhausted by an illness. There's a feeble spark of hope for us. It still flickers.
No.
The heir to the throne, little Alexei...
What's troubling him?
Life is spilling out of him. The devil himself is tearing him apart from the inside, demanding...
Poor child.
Because now we know where the source of the danger is. I will heal the heir, just as I healed Victor, though he was... Isn't that true, friend?
It's true. If not for Grigori, I wouldn't be among you anymore. I'd have lost my mind. But thanks to his miracles, I'm still here, and
I've helped you, just as you've helped us all. Thank you, friend.
You can count on me.
Admirable loyalty. Impressive.
You gave us a chance, and as God as my witness, I won't waste it. Healing the Tsarevich means healing something much. A future where each of us will receive equality. free from the afflictions of the body and the soul. Finally, in a future in which we can do anything, but don't have to do anything. To the Thaumaturge's health.
I'd rather not wake up to sights like that.
You didn't want Ligia to see you in such a state.
In that case, it could have been one of my best decisions.
Looking at the events of last night may be the only right one. Time to get up. Get yourself together, and we'll talk later.
Sleep is a waste of time.
There you are. Finally.
What really happened? My memory is failing me.
For those that sleep in the night are asleep.
Unbelievable.
Remember, no matter what happens, everything's...
This place looked different. There another risk.
Everything is happening according to their will, and with...
All these people, you've gathered a colorful group.
We all come from different environments, from different rungs on the ladder. And that's the most beautiful... What have you found out about them?
Maria is calculated. She stays close because in you she sees a chance for a better life.
And what's wrong with that? I respect that. I don't demand that you all gaze upon me like a sacred but loyalty? There are all sorts of ways a person can... anything else.
Agnella is unknowable, and Lucian is unhappy about the changes taking place in her.
Agnella has completely given up her lust for my sake. She'd rather just pray and pray. I respect that greatly. Do you think that Lucian is jealous about the time his wife...
It's possible.
Don't worry about it. Keep...
Enough about these people.
I'm at your service, Victor. Ask for what you want.
This whole farce, the thank yous, what's it all for? What intentions do you have toward me?
Intentions? That we become friends and help one another, and complement one another. I have skills that you don't. I'm not hiding anything from you, Victor.
I'll leave you alone. I've got...
Go in health, friend.
I'll leave you.
Hello, sweet secret. Let's wait. So, let's... Let's wait. So... So... Let's... So...
That's him, the one with the book. You oozing carbuncle. You ain't had enough of Warsaw yet? So you're sticking your nose in on people here?
You know what happens to fellas who sniff around where they ain't supposed to?
Mirov don't kid around with them.
I just wanted to stop by the laundry.
He must have shit his... You'll have to find yourself another... You're talking nonsense! By Abraham's beard, that's the way it was. Did you hear about Praga? I'm at the harbor getting fish, and half the wharf is in splinters. They said there's even bodies.
More bodies than they usually fish out of the Vistula, practically every day. They were only just writing about...
But listen to this. They're saying it's some giant...
You sure?
Maybe I can help. Recently, I've taken an interest in one of those.
Leave us alone. Did you wander in here by mistake?
I hope those guys outside are your relatives. Otherwise, you're paying too much for your protection. Are you scared of something?
I'm not easily frightened. I have the time spent. You got some dirty laundry that needs cleaning, Mr. Shulsky.
Let's have a word about your conflict with my father.
There was no such thing. I have warm feelings for the store, and his father as well.
Why did you quit working for my...
It was a mutual decision.
I know that you and my father parted ways in bad terms. What...
We both had difficult personalities, but I still remember him fondly.
You're not telling...
I don't have to explain myself to you, Mr. Shulsky.
I'm leaving now, but I can tell this won't be the last time we meet.
Farewell. Is there something else you need?
You were curious how my father died. Beneath...
That's awful.
I'm glad you're asking.
Yes.
Let's talk about your relationship with my father. A tense...
Mr. Shulsky, I'll say it one more time.
Liar. Your anger still lingers around the photograph of my father. You going to find it?
I'm not in the habit of speaking ill of the dead, Mr. Shulsky. Especially old grudges drove us apart. Not all stains are easy to remove. Especially ones on a...
And might they give you a reason to seek revenge?
I can't summon golems, if that's what you're getting at.
But you know there is such a...
Is that all? I need to get back.
I'm leaving now, but I can...
Farewell.
Hello.
You said a month, 2 at most. I believed you. Then came the very first rain, and it was pouring in again. You fixed... I can't sleep because I have to keep emptying buckets. It's leaking just as badly as it was before. But the eyes of God are in every place.
Rabbi, when I said 2 months, you said there was 1 hole in the ceiling, but the whole building is in shambles.
I can do it.
Quiet! You can seal up your daddy's barn with straw. The roof is gonna get holes because the found...
So, let's go down to...
Oh no, definitely not.
Why do you afflict me so? I know why, because you know I shall... Well, sir, are you just here to listen, or have you got something to say?
Am I speaking to Rabbi Sofer?
You see, all I gotta do is mention these cells.
Would Hashem let a synagogue be haunted?
Hey now, quiet.
You're too late, I'm afraid. My name is Feldman. Rabbi Sofer departed this world. Oh, forgive me, I have worldly
I understand, Rabbi. And if someone were to help you with these workers?
In the words of the market woman trying to tempt a Jewish man into idolatry, what harm would it do?
I understand. Buck up. God helps those who help themselves.
But maybe you're right, Rabbi. Maybe Hashem is a...
You heard the guy talking about Sofer. The old man cursed this place,
So I'll go on my own, and show that Hashem protects me against curses.
On your own. You can seal up your daddy's barn, right? Fine, let's go.
You've gotten the better of me again, Hashem. Your tests still surprise me, but if this is... I think Hashem has sent you to me.
I'm a Thaumaturge, Rabbi. And I really need help.
Let's go into my office. Let's show Hashem...
What do we have here?
Please, tell me what problem brought you here.
Rabbi Sofer put a curse on my father. Unfortunately, it started affecting his children as well.
A curse is a serious accusation, you know. I find it hard to believe...
Maybe, Rabbi, you could...
Son of Stanisław, golems are a matter of Kabbalah, and you are not allowed to... It's a trap for us. There are tales of golems being summoned for revenge, but they all end rather badly. And you claim that Sofer supposed...
I don't know. Did the old rabbi perhaps leave some things here? May I take a look at them?
Yes, here you are. All his books are here. I don't think I threw anything out. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Rabbi, could you tell me something about Sofer?
He was fair, but also difficult and very principled, like this city. Riots, provocations, pogroms, overpopulation. But if he's the one who inflicted the curse, he must have been a powerful Thaumaturge and...
Who can summon...
Normally, it's determined by need. The Kabbalist rabbi summons the golem himself, but in legends, the golem is a terrible punishment and a tool, but I think it's an offense against Hashem, and revenge isn't...
How can I stop a golem?
To summon it to life, you write the 3 Hebrew letters spelling emes, truth, on the clay that formed it. In an attempt to stop the monster, the heroes of these legends would erase the first letter from its clay body. That leaves mes. But I don't know how much truth is in that.
Rabbi, could you help me understand something about Kabbalah?
No. And I'll say no more on the subject.
I'm afraid that I won't find anything more. Thank you, Rabbi. Rabbi?
I'm listening.
Mordechai Chayat, do you know?
He owns one of the laundries here in Miruf, but I admit he doesn't really come to see. Maybe there are other things I could be.
I found a prescription belonging to the old rabbi.
He had heart problems. The local pharmacist would even bring him some...
What was that farm?
Abraham Horovitz. But now he...
Let me guess. He's dead.
Unfortunately. Some say that the socialists were involved. Let's keep talking, if you need...
I'll be off now.
I'll pray for you.
Mr. Shulsky again. Have a new thing.
I know about the farmers.
Beg your pardon?
All this is because Abraham Horowitz, isn't it? He lost his life, and the whole community felt it. I just don't get why Horowitz was so important to you.
Community. Something you Shulskis don't know a thing about. Here, we take care of everyone equally. No, your father's punishment was fitting for his actions and his background. The wrath of the Jewish people.
Was it worth it? A golem is a blunt instrument that kills...
What are you talking about?
You wanted to teach my father a lesson, and you did. It's too bad innocent The building that collapsed on Stanisław, it was inhabited by people. Now all that's left, that's what happens every time the golem physically manifests. Random people lose their lives.
No, it can't be. It wasn't supposed to be that way.
My father and Sofer knew one another for years. Father knew the rabbi could be forced to create a golem. They both took that risk. Sofer couldn't reveal that he knew Stanisław. He also knew that Horowitz had to disappear because he was a threat.
To whom?
That doesn't matter. You don't have anything to do with this, Mordechai. Just like I have nothing to do with my I am connected to them only by my blood.
What do...
To get rid of the golem. Tell me.
Instead of telling you, I'll show you.
Where? Into an alley, where some friend of yours will smack me around?
To the synagogue. Are you coming?
Yes, let's go.
We'll stop to get Feldman. He should see this too.
So...
No wonder the roof is leaking if the foundation is crumbling. A lovely metaphor, but what happened here had nothing to do with Hashem.
Mr. Shulsky wished to know the origin of his curse. If I'd... Now I see it differently, but back then, why not?
Revenge is no justice. It is always dictated by anger. But Sofer agreed to it.
He summoned the golem. What else do you want to know?
This place won't tell me anymore.
And what have you learned?
The hole you can't miss over there is the new door the golem...
And no one saw anything. How is that?
Is that your worry, Rabbi?
The clay formed a shell that Sofer infused with the saluter.
Sofer told me to bring clay. Sticky and cold. I can't say how many of those buckets. I could feel the clay absorbing my anger, as if my rage was...
Ours? That must have been...
What's a few hours in exchange for a curse that lasts generations? These are the remains of some fabric that Sofer wrote something on, in Hebrew, I think. This might be some prep. There's not enough left to read anything. That's all, but I'm not any closer to a solution. I need someone like Sofer.
A Thaumaturge and a...
Do you know one, Rabbi?
There's only one name that comes to mind, but...
Ariel Roffe. A good-for-nothing, vengeful, godless scoundrel.
Strong words from your lips.
Of course.
Do you know one another?
Well, I know him well enough to suspect that he might not want to help me.
Clearly, the Shulsky family has an easy time getting into conflict with Jews.
Come now, don't be silly.
There's just one thing I'd really like to... Standing where you are now, what do you think?
As I see it, the punishment you inflicted on my father is...
Meaning?
Neither my sister nor I had anything to do. Justice would be if everyone paid the price.
How much anger must a person hold inside to do something like this? Revenge isn't... Who are you or Sofer to decide who deserves what All right, I think it's time for us to go. This place just makes... Let's get Mr. Shulsky away from here. And stop by tomorrow. We'll have some tea and work...
Mr. Shulsky, I would like this to be our... I tell you from my heart, anger and pride are poor advisors. I know that firsthand, but it's too late for me.
Shall we?
Let's get out of here. That wasn't too hard. Let's wait. Let's... So... Well, well. Can you feel it? He moves with the bustle of the market and the rustle of sand grains around. It feels like the sun is standing. It's a visitor from a harsh desert land. A djinn. I felt something. Where is it? Hello.
Would you like to buy some flowers? They'll steal you.
Have you perhaps noticed any
Here? Mister, there's 1,001 of those have. How about a flower?
Maybe some.
As you wish, sir.
Good day.
And it can be even better. I'll quickly find whatever it is you need. Well, I have heard that he has a... What are your wishes?
You grant wishes like,
Jinn? Mister, I grant any number of wishes. Not some measly 3 or so. I've got Jinn's.
And you can grant any wish?
Yeah, I heard he brought a real Persian cat from Altsova. Now that...
You know it. I have yet to have a
I should just tell you what I...
Don't be bashful. We're all friends.
Just name it, and I'll handle the rest.
I want to be an unequaled
Mister, that's a wish you can grant on your own. 10,000 hours of solid practice, and you can be a map. Next time, make your wishes a little more...
I was just browsing.
Do come back now. Wishes won't grant themselves.
Am I a magician or what?
Did you think of any new...
But I know that you failed to fulfill one task, one wish.
Well, that's interesting.
Oh, that was a simple misunderstanding. Nothing to talk about, right?
Will it dawn on you when I mention cigars? Rolled on the thighs of Cuban girls? Despite their uniqueness, these small pieces of handicraft...
That's enough.
So you brought others even more magnificent, resting in elegant seats.
Well, I'll be.
The manager of this establishment, the shitty vizier, who else? What does he want? His caprices cost me a fortune, and still, there's no pleasing him. I'm finished. Are you pleased with yourself?
You've disappointed me as well. I wish you carried a certain flaw, but alas.
Go to hell, all of you! Get lost!
Look what you did. And Maltsova hears about this.
Have you made up your mind?
I'll have one.
It will be perfect for a buttonhole.
A desert daisy. It survived.
I didn't think you were such an expert on
Rather on people. I can't help but feel that we've already met.
Surely you're confusing me with someone else, sir.
I know what I'm talking about. You left an identical flower on one of the stalls, and you were very happy. And earlier, you were looking at gold watches. Fearing the seller becoming suspicious, you gave up on one of them.
Thaumaturge. I've heard a little something about you and your tricks. Want me to show you real magic?
Help! Thief! Help!
Stop.
What are you up to, pickpocket? Stealing from flower girls? You scoundrel.
You don't like breathing through a straight nose.
Gentlemen, I didn't do anything this manipulator is accusing me of.
Everyone says that. Well, maybe not quite in this way, but...
And people lose their belongings. What about him, Yachim?
After all, you're not angry with me. I'm not the one who isn't paying you. Your anger has a different...
Yahim, the truth is cruel. What's the use of tormenting some small fry when you know who this is about?
Well, I wanted to tell you a long time ago. Only I...
Yahim, lad, I would never. Come on. As for you, you know what'll happen if you come here again, right? You understand?
I'm already gone.